Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our program. And first of all, happy Black History Month. Yes, that deserves a hearty applause. I am Dr. Dennis Doster, and I am director of the MNC PPC Black History Program of the Natural and Historic Resources Division of the Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. And so I'd like to officially welcome you to our event. And so this is our annual opening for the entirety of Black History Month, but it is also the opening reception for our annual Black History Month exhibition. And so this year's exhibition is Black Resistance Stories from Prince George's County. This year's exhibition highlights selected narratives of resistance drawn from the rich history of Prince George's County, covering the period of enslavement to the present, highlighting how individuals and families of African descent have organized and fought against systems of racial oppression. And these narratives, which only cover a portion of our county's history, will hopefully challenge all of us to reconsider the legacies of slavery and Jim Crow and to renew our present-day efforts to create a more just and equitable society. So now at this point, I'm going to invite the Bowie State Choir to come forward, and they will lead us in singing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and they are under the direction of Professor Brandon Felder.
Good afternoon. Oh, come on, we can do a little better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. And we're going to ask if everyone can please stand in the singing of, this is my arrangement of Johnson & Johnson's Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, led by the Bowie State University Choir.
First, we will have welcome remarks from Mr. Steve Carter, who is Deputy Director of Parks and Facilities Management with the Department of Parks and Recreation, followed by welcoming remarks from Mrs. Dorothy Bailey, who's Vice Chair of the Prince George's County Planning Board, MNC PPC.
Thank you, Dennis. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Steve Carter, Deputy Director for Parks and Facilities Management for the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Department of Parks and Recreation. I am thrilled that we are here today, and you should be as well. Give yourself a round of applause. I would like to highlight our executive leadership team today. I do not see any of them, but I want to recognize Ms. Wanda Ramos, who I know has been under the weather. She's our Deputy for Recreation and Leisure Services. Also, Mr. Alvin McNeil is our Deputy Director for Administration and Development. And our Director, Bill Tyler, who's out of town. Give all of them a round of applause as well. I see many other Parks and Recreation professionals in the space, and we will recognize them throughout the day because without them, today would not be possible. I will use my brief time up here to say that each year, the department's Black History Month program team and staff prepare a full array of activities, culturally impactful activities, educational activities, uplifting events, an amazing exhibit, and a unique annual poster to commemorate each year's theme and celebrate Black History Month. Can I give a warm round of applause for all of those individuals? Y'all got to get used to clapping today. I know y'all went to church and you clapped this morning. You got to clap today. Let's go. This year's exhibit will run through Sunday, March the 26th. So if you were not able to see it before the program began today, please make your way around the facility this afternoon. And please come back and bring a young person with you to experience this as well. We want them to have all the experiences that we had as a child and we have now as an adult. Today, we just heard from the amazing, talented choir from Bowie State University. That's all y'all can do. They got up this morning. Awesome. And shortly, you will see the work of some more talented young people illustrating the struggle and strength of today. Let's give hope to our young people. Let's lift them up. There's so much negativity going on around us each and every day. Let's not partake of that. Let's partake of lifting them up. We know it's a village. Circle them, insulate them with all the love that you can give them. And I'll assure you, you will see one of them speaking like I am today, because somebody had to work with me. They're still working on me. But lift them up. Don't tear them down. So give a round for our young people. And we'll be done soon, but let's give a warm welcome for the Mount Pelion Arts staff who set this facility up for you this morning. And we got to give it for the bad Dr. Dennis Doster. And I know he has a team of individuals, so I don't want to name them because I'll miss somebody and then y'all will talk about me tomorrow. And finally, to the Black History Month Program Committee, I know it's made up the Arts and Cultural Heritage Division, the Natural Historic Resources Division, Public Affairs and Community Engagement. So if you work for one of those divisions, please stand and be recognized. And I see many standing back at the wall. Is that Darlene Watkins? Hey, Darlene, welcome back. I'm sorry, I'm off script. Please look for details on the numerous events planned for the month at pgparks.com and make sure you take a commemorative poster with you today. And now it is my honor, and before I introduce her, let's welcome our former chair, Miss Betty Hewlett, who came with us today. And now it's my honor and pleasure to introduce the Vice Chair of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Prince George's County Planning Board, the Dorothy Bailey.
On behalf of the Prince George's County Planning Board, the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, and our chair, Peter Shapiro, who could not be with us today, and I'm so glad he couldn't because I get to speak since he's not here. I am delighted to be here, so glad that each of you decided to come and join us today. This is Black History Month. It's the opening celebration, and we do it 24/7, every month, every day in Park and Rec. It warms my heart to greet everyone as we return to an in-person gathering. Isn't this exciting? We don't have to just do it from the television or whatever. We can do this in person. The world has changed a lot since 2020, when we held our last in-person celebration. But the Commission's commitment to bring in relevant and timely cultural programming remains as strong as ever. We applaud the Commission's Black History Month program, their efforts in technology and all the things they did to keep us up on snuff, doing the right thing at the right time. And so thank you, Dennis, for your work and continued commitment to the study of Black history. But it feels warm and wonderful just to be here at Mount Pelion Arts Center and connect with exhibits, the artists, and each one of you. As a proud member of ASALH, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and I was previously president of the local Prince George's Truth Branch, I'm excited about the national theme, Black Resistance. It transformed with stories from a local perspective. That's what we will be doing throughout the year. ASALH, which I know and love dearly, is just an absolutely amazing organization, preserving the history of African Americans and the history of this country. Now, we have some paying members of ASALH in the group now, and I'm going to ask you, if you are a member of ASALH, to stand please stand if you're a current member of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Okay. Thank you. This is the organization that makes sure that you have a theme during Black History Month. And the theme this year is Black Resistance. Now, we saw who stood up because they are the members. We have a chapter here, a branch here, it's called, in Prince George's County. Jackie Woody is our current president. But we need all of you to consider joining the Prince George's Truth branch of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. It is history that we have to pass on to our children because it's absolutely important that our children pass that history on to each other, pass it on down to other young people. We have shared our journeys, our narratives and resistance and stories of victories. Our collective voices paint a living history that will transform and inspire our future. Growing up in the South, in North Carolina, I learned at an early age the power of resistance. As a student at North Carolina Central University, the second college to participate in the sit-in demonstrations during the Civil Rights era, I remember calling home and saying to my father that I was going to be involved in the marches. And my dad said, "You can't do that because we don't have any money to bring you home. We barely got you in college, so you dare not march." I said, well, you'll never know. And march I did. Didn't get arrested. Got rocks thrown at me and things like that, but I did not get arrested. So now I look back and say, I should have gotten arrested. I could tell my children I actually did get arrested, but I did not. It wasn't a fun time. It was a scary time for all of us in North Carolina at that time. But I learned firsthand the outcomes of resistance. That same passion I had as a student would follow me into my teaching career and my successful campaign for 2 terms on the Prince George's County Council. In each professional role, I knew that I had to lift my voice at times on behalf of my students, the seniors in our communities, and my constituents to resist policies, practices, legislation aimed to suppress and hinder our growth and progress. Now, for more than a decade, I've had the honor to work with an organization that is dedicated to studying our past, seek new ways to incorporate the lesser-known facts and stories into the modern-day interpretation of our county's natural resources, art and culture programming, and historical sites. Through our work, the Commission, we bring to life the stories of our Black ancestors who contributed to the journey to build the diverse and vibrant community we live in, we call Prince George's County, a dynamic county that leads in the state and region and is home to stellar higher education institutions, popular transit and tourist attractions, notable government agencies, et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. We have much to appreciate here in Prince George's County. Now I would like to see if we have some special guests that I would like to take a moment to recognize. You've already heard from our former chair and who led this agency for many years, made sure we were a gold medal organization, Betty Hewlett. And so Betty, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you for your leadership, and would you please stand and be acknowledged again. Betty Hewlett, former chair of the Prince George's County Planning Board. I'm not sure there are any other individuals, but I tell you what, why don't we all stand and be recognized as important people? Everybody stand up so we can recognize. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out today. This event would not be possible without the many individuals from the Department of Park and Recreation who contributed greatly to development of this program. The 2-month-long art exhibit, today's programming, the commemorative poster and summer internship program, and various events and performances that take place throughout the county. So all of you have done much with Park and Rec to make this a very successful event. We thank all contributors for sharing your talents and taking us on this historic journey. I do see someone from the National Asala organization. Would you please raise your hand so that folks can see you in the back, sir? Okay, thank you very much for coming out today. Again, we thank all of you for joining us for this opportunity as we celebrate the rich African American art, history, and culture that is deeply rooted in our dynamic and beloved Prince George's County. We hope that you enjoy the rest of this enlightening program, the exhibitions, and that you become more and more amazed at the sound of our young people, our talented voices that we've seen and heard so far, and we hear from them again later on. I will now turn our program back over to Dennis, who does an outstanding job. We are fortunate to have Dr. Duster among us with our Park and Rec program. Dennis, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Vice Chair Bailey. And so I'm just going to turn the program over back again to the Bowie State Choir.
a city called heaven. I'm trying to make it, trying to make it, trying to make it, make heaven, make
Done made my vow to the Lord. Done made my vow to the Lord. Done made my vow to the Lord to see what the end will be. Done made my vow to the Lord.
yes.
Done made my vow to the Lord.
I will go, I shall go, just
To see what the end will be.
God made my vow, yes. God made my vow. Oh, I will go, I shall go, just to see what the end will be. God made my vow, yes. God made my vow. Oh, I will go, I shall go, just to see what the end will be. What the end will be. God made my vow, yes. God made my vow. Oh, I will go, I shall go, just to see what the end will be. What the end will be. See what the end will be. To see what the end will be.
Now we will transition to our keynote speaker for this afternoon, and I'm very humbled and honored to introduce her, Mrs. Dawn Collins, who is co-founder and president of the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation. And so since 2017, when her son, Second Lieutenant Richard Collins III, was violently murdered in an unprovoked attack on the University of Maryland College Park campus, Mrs. Collins has been a leader in the fight against hate crimes. Mrs. Collins and her husband, Richard Collins Jr., who is here with us here today, established the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation to honor their son. The foundation's goals are twofold. One, to provide ROTC scholarships to students attending historically black colleges and universities, in the state of Maryland, along with the executive development programs and resources required for their long-term success. And then second, work within the education system to deploy programs at every level that develop mutual understanding, encourage respectful dialogue, and root out the scourge of hate. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Collins and ask you give her a round of applause as she comes forward.
Wow, I am humbled. Hey, 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 boué, okay? So, I am so overwhelmed and so many emotions to stand here today. You all know my name is Dawn Collins. I am the very proud mother of Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III. I count it an honor and a privilege to stand here to be your guest speaker. I'm like, wow, for Black History Month. And I will tell you, I'm getting a little bit off script here. 5.5 years ago, I couldn't tell you my name. The grief, And if we have mothers here, you understand when I tell you the grief. But my dear sweet husband of over 35 years said, you know what? We can't go out like this. So we formed the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation to make sure the world would know his name. So if I tend to preach a little bit, understand I'm a PK, so it's in my blood, okay? So let me start. On May 20th, 2017, our world was turned upside down. My son, Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III, was standing at a bus stop waiting for an Uber at the flagship university, University of Maryland, College Park. And what happened to him? He was murdered by what I call a white supremacist. And let me tell you why I say white supremacist. Because he followed the Alt-Right Nation Facebook page, and what he had on his phone categorized him as a white supremacist. Because see, I totally believe your phone is a microcosm as to who you are. If I were to look at your phone right now, I could tell you what's important to you. To me, you will see recipes on my phone. You will see pictures of my family on my phone. So you will know that those are the things that I hold near and dear to my heart. So therefore, I call him a white supremacist because of the things that was on his phone. That's how I categorize him, and that's how I see it. Because you and all know here, if you have child pornography on your phone, what do you call? A child pornographer. Simple. So, because I believe the phone is a microcosm as to who you are, I have no problem in saying he was a white supremacist. So I want to let you know, my husband and I and my beautiful daughter, Robin, we miss her brother, my son, every day. Every day. This type of pain never dissipates. It ebbs and it flows. So, again, Rick and I said we will not stop, will not be quiet. Can't stop, won't stop. Therefore, it has become therapeutic for me to stand in front of you to tell you about my son and what we are doing in my family. I need you to understand, when I speak about my family, I call us the true patriots. And let me tell you why. We are third-generation military. We don't need to storm any place to tell you that I am a patriot. I do it with my duty and service to this country because I am an American. So understand, I take that word patriot seriously. And who gets to use that word? I am a patriot. I, black woman, am a patriot. When my son was murdered, again, my family was devastated. And shortly after my son's murder, my husband and I formed the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation. The foundation's mission is to invest in the education and empowerment of young Americans to whom proven themselves to be outstanding citizens and are committed to working toward a hate-free and more just society for us all. One of the early victories in this battle that my husband and I are in was that we were able to change the hate crime law in the state of Maryland with the help of the state attorney, Aisha Braveboy, the first time around. Now, for you that don't know, the hate crime in Maryland at that time said hate had to be the sole reason that an act was committed. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know anything in life that you have a sole reason. Nothing. I don't take off my shoes because I just want them off. It might be because my feet are hurting, okay? I am glad to say that we were changing that. And guess what? There have been convictions because of the change in that law. We have found and formed relationships with national organizations that it's unbelievable to myself and Rick. ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League, NAACP, Southern Law Center, Southern Poverty Law Center, the Lawyers Committee on Civil Rights, and many, many others. Also, my husband and I thought it was important that we form an alliance between Bowie State University and the University of Maryland College Park. And let me tell you why. These schools are less than 10 miles apart, and they know nothing about each other. So I approached the presidents of both universities. See, because when something like this happens to you, you get the mantra, whom shall I fear? So yes, I approached the presidents of both universities and said, we need to do something. And so what has formed is the Social Justice Alliance. And what is that? That's an alliance between professors at the University of Maryland, professors at Bowie State, along with the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation to address social justice issues on purpose and to do something about it. This April, we will have a symposium at Bowie State, and the social justice issue we will be discussing is social justice in athletics. So we are very proud of that. Also, we also talk about how it is important that this alliance goes across the nation. One of the things that we are also very proud of in my son's name is $1 million scholarship. Did you hear what I just said? That by the state of Maryland. And it is for young men and women that attend HBCUs that are interested in attending and being part of the United States military. Thus far, thank you. Thus far, there are over 200 men and women that were able to take part in that scholarship and have become officers in the United States military. Also, again, whom shall I fear? We knew that there had to be something standing on the campus of the University of Maryland College Park that will forever remember our son. Not in a negative way and in a sad way. We call it Collins Plaza because we want people to go there and visit and understand who and what my son stood for. And we're proudly to say, take a look, go over there, and enjoy Collins Plaza. We are facing some insurmountable challenges in our country today. But I want each and every one of you to know in this audience, I didn't plan to be an activist. All I wanted to be was a mom to aggravate her children. Ask my beautiful daughter. One of the things that my son used to call me oh so well, Mama Bear, don't get her started. My family and I are no different than any of you in this audience. It's just that tragedy came to our home. And so I'm going to ask each of you in this room today. I don't know what it is that you can do and will do, but do something. You can't sit on the sidelines anymore, because there's an enemy out there that's not playing. They're ready to take us out. So I say, find your lane in this battle. Read a book. Maybe you need to speak to someone and say, oh, no, shut that down. Don't do that in my presence. Or maybe you need to follow the 2nd Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation on social media and see what we are doing. Because I promise you, I cannot stop. Now, if you want to go even further, you can always donate to the foundation. We are happy to receive all funds, and I promise you they will be used well. My family and I have suffered a terrible, unthinkable loss that we will never be fully redeemed or healed from. But I am gratified in knowing that there are more people like me than on the other side. So I'm going to tell you about some upcoming events and that I would like to invite you all to. On March 16th at the University of Maryland College Park, I will be joined on the stage by Susan Bro. Who is Susan Bro? Susan Bro is the mother of Heather Heyer. They will be showing an episode of Gutsy. Gutsy is a documentary that was done by Hillary Clinton that Susan and I are in. Susan has become a great ally of mine. And so they're going to show that episode, and we're going to discuss from Susan's perspective and my perspective. Because, see, we need allies in this fight because we cannot fix it alone. And on April 29th, the Social Justice Alliance Symposium will be held at Bowie State. And it is entitled Social Justice in the Athletics. We all know about that. So I especially, in ending this, want to thank Artura Jackson. And why? When Arturo called me and said, Mrs. Collins, we want you to be the keynote speaker, I was like, okay. Arturo, what can I say? What would they want to hear from me? She said, speak from your heart. Tell them your truth. And so, Arturo, that's what I'm doing, telling them my truth. One other thing I need to tell people before I forget is my husband and I, and we're amazed that this happened, have been brought to the attention of the White House. And we are now part of a group of individuals that are called Uniters Against Hate. There are 18 individuals from across the nation, and my husband is considered one of those uniters. Now, because I just don't want to stand here and talk to you, because sometimes people have questions, and I told Arturo, I would be brief, but if there's anything, because see, at this point, anything people want to know about me, I can do one or two things. I can either say yes or no. So I'm going to ask this beautiful audience, and I'm flabbergasted about all the beautiful people I see. If you have any questions of a mother, again, a mother who had to bury her son, because see, we all know that's not what's supposed to be in life. Our children are supposed to outlive us. we prepare for them. I would happily entertain and discuss and speak because, see, I believe there is nothing like a mother's love. In ending, this is what I'm going to say. I ask, I beseech, I beg, join me in this fight for democracy because doing nothing is not an option. Thank you.
Mrs. Collins, so thank you so much for agreeing to come today and to speak from the heart, and thank you for that powerful and appropriate, as we talk about and learn about and share about Black resistance, that appropriate call to action, do something. And so we hope that that resonates with not only everybody in this room, but also those who are watching us virtually, that, you know, that they can do something as we work to create, as we talked about before, a more just and a more equitable society, and a society free from hate, so that we don't have events like this happen, which happened to your son. So thank you so much. Another round of applause. So we are coming towards the end of our program. We have a couple of more things to do. And so as we come close to the close, we have the unveiling of our Black History Month poster. So this is a time-honored tradition. Our Black History Month poster goes back to 1989. And so we have the young student artists who participated in creating that poster who are with us here today. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Stuart Diekmeyer, who's our visual arts specialist, to join me at the podium. And so the poster for the past about, I think, 6 years has been created by students who participate in what we call the Black History Program Visual Arts Summer Internship. And so what students do during the course of about 5-week internship is learn about the theme of the upcoming Black History Month exhibition. And they learn about it through lectures, through videos, through discussions and conversations, and through field trips to various museums and other venues throughout the DMV. And so this past summer, we had 4 interns who participated with us in that internship, and they learned about, as you see here, Black resistance. And so then that artwork that they created became the basis of the poster that was created for this Black History Month 2023. And so I'm going to ask those student artists to come forward as I call their names. So we have Phoenix Ikegwano, who is a student at Surrattsville High School, Jasmine Lee. Yes, please give her hands of applause. Yeah. Jasmine Lee, with a student at Suitland High School. We have Taylor Lee, who is also a student at Suitland High School, who could not be with us today. And then lastly, we have Jasmine Spencer, who is also a student at Suitland High School. And so these young people, these great young artists, the future, worked with not only myself and Mr. Diekmeyer and the rest of the Black History Program team, but also they worked under the direction of a great resident artist. And so I invite her to come forward, Miss Kia Paxton. And so at this time, right before we unveil it, I'll ask if Artura Jackson, Shakia Gillette Warren, the members of the Black History Program, come forward. If Steve Carter, if Dorothy Bailey, if you all would come forward as well to help us unveil the poster. And lastly, Mr. and Mrs. Collins, if you could come forward as well and help us unveil the poster as well. So you can get right there in the center. You can do it unveil. You can do the unveil.
Oh, I'm putting my pen. You want to see it?
Commissioner Bailey. Your mask.
And so we present to you the 2023 Black History Month poster. And so we do have copies of the poster available today. So please take a copy or two when you leave here this evening as well. Our facilities in the Department of Parks and Recreation throughout the county also have copies of the poster. So please tell your friends, tell your family to go to their local historic site, their local arts center, their local community center, and pick up a copy as well. And lastly, if they can't get one in person, they can go to blackhistory.pgparks.com, where they'll be able to, after today, download a digital version of the poster as well. So thank you all.
Brother, stand here and look.
And so now I thank you all for joining us here today, both in person and online. We're going to have closing remarks by myself, and then we're going to close out with the great Bowie State Choir. So before I bring them forward, just a couple of announcements. First, please take your time viewing the exhibition today. And if you don't have a chance to view it all today, please come back and also share an invitation with your friends, with your family, with people in your community, and ask them to come back and really take in this exhibition that we've worked so hard for. I must acknowledge the Black History Program team, Mr. Artur Jackson, Ms. Shakia Gillette Warren, as well as the whole staff here at the Montpelier Arts Center, and our other colleagues in the Arts and Cultural Heritage Division and the Natural and Historic Resources Division that really came together to make this exhibition possible. And so we, like I said, invite you all to please take it all in, come back, invite other people to partake and learn from this exhibition. In addition to that, throughout the month, has been mentioned earlier, the entire Department of Parks and Recreation has amazing programming for Black History Month. And so if you go to blackhistory.pgparks.com, I'll say that again, blackhistory.pgparks.com, go to that website, you'll be taken to our online calendar where you can scroll through each day of the month of February and see the events that are happening all throughout the county at our community centers, at our art centers, and at our historic sites. And so we truly take this business seriously in Prince George's County. And as has been mentioned, we're not just about honoring and celebrating Black history during the month of February, but about doing that year-round, because that is important work, important history that must be told. And Black history is cliche, but Black history is American history. And so we thank you all for coming out. And so I'm going to ask the Bowie State Choir to make their way, and they will close us out with a selection. And after that selection, we invite you to my left, go into the Resident Artist Gallery. We do have light refreshments available for you. It is prepackaged. We are mindful of the state that we're in right now, and so we do want to be safe. And so you may take that with you as you depart from this place.
And Dennis, we'd like to thank the Mayor of Hinesville for joining us today. Mayor, would you please stand?
See the man who is homeless, though destitute he is no less, hoping for a fair chance to get on his feet.
A single mother is striving to raise her kids while surviving. Unequal parent unfairness, how can this be? So we sing. Injustice everywhere, injustice everywhere. Injustice everywhere. Some intention.
human rights.
Till everybody,
Sees the light,
till everybody
sees the light. Children living impoverished, deprived of chances and knowledge. Will someone give them the tools so they can succeed? Succeed. And seniors living on pensions, still struggling, not to mention prescription drugs costing more than the funds they receive. They receive. Oh, injustice everywhere. Injustice everywhere. Injustice everywhere. Injustice actions everywhere.
hand in hand we stand, we
By my love, so we fight for human rights.
till everybody,
Sees the light,
till everybody
sees the light. Freedom rarely is over. We must demand. The time for freedom is always, always at hand. Take a stand.
take a stand.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't worry about a thing.
Hold on,
Hold on.
you can make it.
Make it.
Hold on,
Hold on. Don't worry about a thing.
people like to worry. Some people like to hide.
Some people like to run away from the pain inside.
Now that's your business. Do whatever you wanna do.
But if it don't work out, here's what you wanna do. Say, hold on. Your change is coming. Hold on. Don't wait.
Just hold on. You can make it. Hold on.
Everybody will be alright. La 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 la. Say la 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 la. Say hold.